Had a hard day. Boss giving you a swift kick. A sort of hard time, so to say. School is out of control. And you ask why? Why me? Well, the question is not of that, but what can you control? Things out of your control can lead to negative emotions. The things like why I cannot control these things, but yet you put yourself in this. It's not it's the outside problem. You can control the things that are internal. What can you control? Your reaction, your thoughts, your well-being. And all this is through moderation, step by step, and self-control. Where to start? Where do I begin? Let's find out. So, self-control. Where do one begin? Where do you identify to what is in your control? Well, it's a matter of stress testing oneself, right? Where can you go from here? Where can you? When? Where? Ask these questions. Well, of course, it's also the how. The one thing that, when it comes to self-control, is that one cannot be under control with everything of aspects of a mind, of everyone's mind, thoughts, all that, because some of us have sort of mental capacities that we're not capable of doing so. Some people would be like, "Oh, get over it! They just broke up with you. You'll be fine." It's not fun, especially when you put your heart and soul to that person of the other relationship, and they just crushed your dreams, your future plans, and everything that is crushed in an instant, gone, with nowhere to go, nowhere to hide, nowhere to lean on. Mental capacity come crashing down in a domino effect. So we're just going to go with that as the example. And then we're going to go through school and work for that. Examples will be used a lot throughout this. So let's get right into it. First one, we also go the ever so juicy relationships. But how can I fall in love? How can I actually... Well, I've already covered love sickness on something that also will cover how to love a bit later. But of course, that determines on the ratio of this video and the comments. But that's just a shameless plug in the middle of that conversation. Moving on. So, what can one do after a breakup? Let's start with a breakup example. The breakup example? Oh no! I mean, you can even easily translate this to you ended relationship with a friend or a special colleague or someone that can be a potential friend. Just keep that in mind. Everything can be translated. Just a matter of your own perspective. So, let's continue. Now, why is that once everything is gone, you're left with nothing? Because you was putting everything from your heart, your soul, your mind, your future plans that has not yet even taken its first step, come crashing down. And it hurts. So, the first thing you need to do, calm down. Think of something else. Think what else that made you happy before those thoughts that came rolling through, and lean towards that. Rather, it could be a friend of the outside. Hopefully that's the case, because usually that's a lot better. and share everything that you experience. And hopefully they can actually help you through that. Because I assure you, a third party will help you in a time of need. And what I mean a time of need is that you need some outside perspective. When people say you get over it, just to be honest, it's 2 and 2. Yes, in a way, they say to get over it, but it's not as easy as those get over it words. Because, I mean, you don't have that outside perspective. So you need that outside perspective to actually get, quote, over it. And I'm going through the wall. Woo. Anyway, so, why get over it? You just crushed everything. Well, you probably heard it before. Plenty of people in the sea, plenty not that particular person, because everybody's different in their own merit, but their traits can be the same on someone else. But some people are completely unique, and those are the 10% of those who are completely different, who actually see the world but differently. I am not going to go through those statistics, but of course that comments below and likes ratio, that determines if something of a topic about different types of people. But that's not what it's about. Differences in people and those who are unique, but some are just same based on behavior traits and labors and stereotypes, which I do believe that can be also another topic here. But anyway, so a thing about actually finding another. Yes, you can find another. You can find another person. There's plenty of people. How many people? I mean, hell, let me just ask my digital assistant and let me just lean towards it. Ziggy, how many people in the world?
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the world population today is approximately 8.09 billion.
8 billion people? Huh. And yet there's nobody? Just because you found that one, who to say you find another? And yeah, just because you found one and it didn't work out. But if it didn't work out, it don't work out. So, don't think of things of that. Think of your mind that it can be pushed forward. Think of that, of what you can control. Yourself. Further seek out, go out there and find another. It's not a matter of getting over it. I mean, you can figure out what joys that came out of it. You can figure out that's what you control. What you learn from the experience. What you can bring to the next. And those who actually end up with you, hopefully be more deserving of you. Not because of that person is the key. No. You're the key, the self. You're not there is no we unless it's actually togetherness. When there's togetherness, that's when there is a we. And when there's a we, you can build upon that we. We! And togetherness, you can actually further bond and make further decisions. And you can control things even better and more that over that partner of yours. Now, why I would say about togetherness? Because once you're together with that person, you start sharing the mind of both reaction. But though it would be slower, but further stronger. Because when it comes to self-control, it is of the I. Numero uno. The self. That's it. You cannot control what everybody else is thinking. You cannot control anyone that whatever they say of you, about you, or anything of that. And if they broke your heart, and of course it hurt, because it's yours. It is your sanctum that got defiled, ridiculed, or whatever that. So you control the self. So how you say to what you labeled yourself, you have to rebuild yourself. Stronger. A bit more passion. So, stronger passion. Oh, whatever that means. What does that mean? oh, like, there's more to that, and I can get a bit deeper, but it's time to move on to another. That's about relationship on control. But once you have somebody, it is the we, but it's still the I. Just keep that in mind. And once it's over, it goes back to I. So, if there was never a we, there was always an I. Keep that in mind. So, let's go to school. So, school. So, the problem with school is that determines on country to country and whatever. Things that is what it is. The thing is, it is your mental capacity and the standards of whatever that relies on the current living situation that you're in. So if you're in a country that has a higher educational bit and you have the lower bit, I'm sorry. Because mental capacity is what the self-control is. All you can do is try to adapt. And if you don't have to accept everything that it is taught, just remember to do your best. I mean, seriously. I mean, it's going to be hard shit. Oh, words! Words! It's angry! The bird! The poo-poo S-word! Hard shit. Hardship equals to hard shit. So, with that, you can only control to what you're putting your fast foot on. If you're not going to care, you're not going to care. So don't care. But understand what you get out. What you don't care, whatever you learn, shows your demeanor. You can pick and choose your education. I'm serious. Even the current circumstances that you in. Make it, if it's not fun, but if you have to have it, gosh darn it, make it fun for yourself. Because education is the opportunity that's a land in front of you. And I do believe that all education can be fun if you only put your mindset forward. Because if you do not, that goes for college and middle school, high school, whatever. I was even taught from your parents, and also, you gotta learn violin. I can't, my hands are not that dainty. That's actually kind of personal. I tried violin. I couldn't do it, even though I was trying to be passionate about it. But my hands are meant for other things. For working on my cosplay video. Working a M16 and my job. Career. It's a career now. But that's not what it's about. Now, context, just because you don't know, I'm in the US. There, it's done. So, they teach me that because once upon a time, I, myself, did not like the ideas of guns, to say. Not that I'm pro-gun, because I do believe gun rights can be, but that's not what it's about. We're talking about how I end up not liking, but end up liking. So, yes, there was a point that I don't like guns, and the reason, some of the things it may be that you can probably look at great reasons of why guns are bad, but yeah, there are, but it's not the weapon that kills it, it's the individual. So, I grown to make the acceptance through my own mind and learned it. Not because I have to, of course, because at the time I treated it as job, not career at the time. So now I'm like, not like 100% proficient, but I grown to like it. Even grown to like FPSs. Anyway, so just because you may not like the certain circumstances, but you can grow to like it. If it's just, it can either be, you can grow to like it, or it's just a stepping stone with your school, right? You just, it's like, yeah, deal with it. That kind of thing, that kind of attitude, it can be an attitude. Or it can be it's an obstacle. I'm just going to do this, get over it. And because, I have to, because it's like, society has put this upon me and I have to do it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, try to either make it fun or just make it as an obstacle. Set little small goals to where you can be a bit more fulfilling. Try not to make it to where it's a waste of time. Make it to where it fills your time with actual meaning and purpose. Because if you without those, you will lose the will to learn. Next, work. It goes pretty much the same thing about, I don't know. What's one way to say this? It is, when I mean by work, I do mean by, not career, all right? Work. Something that is a stepping stone to further to your career or to your retirement. Some people would never reach career or have a career because they don't want to be tied down. Because all that is prospectively. Just remember that you have to live by their rules. Of course, this can easily be translated by school itself, but think about education. You can filter that out yourself, and you're gonna end up forgetting some of that shit. But work is something that you have to do day in and day out. Day in and day out, day in and day out. Ooh, what do you mean by that? Let's see. Usually work is something that is doing school, like high school or college, and you have to do it at the same time. At times, it can be automated, or the fact that the job requires you to think. And the self-control based on that is how you treat it. So if you're always going to say work is always shitty and it's always going to be the same day in and out, and gosh darn it, it will be. Unless you change your mindset to what that may be, it will continue to be the same unless you take certain challenges. And just like what I talk about school, if you change your perspective, maybe do small little set challenges, maybe it's not your career, but maybe you like to get paid more. I don't know, like promotion, raise, something like that. Show that you have worth of that job, and when you actually leave, you live in good terms, and you can actually use them as reference on your future job or any other endeavors. Or also try to learn for any new experiences from that actual job, because the fact that if you leave in bad terms, you have a bad resume and bad rep, and you might want to go for a job that it actually requires you to actually have a good job experience, and you do not have that because of your previous job. Self-control, moderation, concentration of the self. We all here, like I mentioned, like 8 billion people. 8 billion people! And yet, so many people we don't get along. Or maybe because we eliminate that connection. That's another part of self-control. Because we don't not get along with certain people, we end up having a bad performance on the job, school, relationships, and stuff like that. This will also lead towards the open mind. And this goes back to a saying, I'm not sure if I said it, but I think it's pretty much self-explanatory. An open mind is that of an open heart. And those who close their mouth, you don't further progress. Because a closed heart cannot grow the mind. And once it's closed in solitude, it is not further branches your actually self-interests. And interests is something you may want to use. Even though it's not an interest that is of your 100%. You can have an interest of just a little bit of yourself. Can go a long way. And that goes through and through, not just my job and school. Because if you just drag your feet, because when you drag, it's a lot of effort, either going nowhere or going slowly at where you want to go. But you move with a purpose, with a passion, whether it's as small as little or more. You can make greater strides. Greater strides to the goals that you want to make. And yes, there is a thing about goal settings, and that's going to be on a future video. A very video that I wish that I would make eventually. Though this channel doesn't really get much traction, it's a matter of sharing. Probably might do something with this channel. Why macaroon? I'm going to answer that question. I don't like sweets as much, but when it comes to a certain sweet, I like the macaroon. It's a fancy little delicacy that I like. It's not too sweet. It's expensive, but it's ever so right for me. Just like with knowledge. You don't want too much of it. It's something of a delicacy. Much like what I am presenting to you. Well, I can go on, but it is going to be lasting a bit longer than it's supposed to be. But if you want more of this topic, please ask the questions within the comments. And I do read them. After all, this is a smaller channel, my larger channel. But I will read it. Until next time.